Eddie, thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure.
I'm after asking you to come on a good bit now, haven't I?
Yeah, I do need a little bit of coax now, right, don't I?
Because at Demi and Chippy's wedding, I was chatting to you the night before the wedding, remember? And you were telling me about when you got started, and I was just, I thought, geez, that's some story. And I think that's 2 years ago.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I only got you on now.
Oh, well, yeah. That's worth waiting for.
It's worth waiting for. It's worth waiting for. Eddie.
If you think that's a good story.
Look, I'm telling you, I know a good story when I hear it.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear it now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Eddie, where were you born and reared?
God, yeah. Where was I born and reared? Clone and Curra.
Clone and Curra.
Yeah, just 2 miles outside the town here.
And were you born into a big family?
Yep. There was 8 of us in family, 8 children. So there were.
8.
And yeah, back in those days, the mother didn't go to the hospital. There was 7 of us all born at home.
In the house?
That time, yeah.
Where are you in the family, age-wise?
I am 3rd from the top.
3rd from the top?
Yeah.
And what was it like growing up back then?
It was great crack.
Were you all in how many rooms?
Right. Well, we lived in the old house first, I'd say. And there was a kitchen and 2 bedrooms and kind of a parlour. What they used to call a parlour.
Was that like a good room?
That was the good room. That's where the priest was taken and the doctor was taken.
When they came out?
Yeah.
And can you remember, what was daily life back then? Can you remember?
Yeah. There was no television. I can remember back when there was no television. I remember when we got electricity first.
You can remember that?
Yeah.
Was it wow, we're getting electricity?
Oh, yeah.
So what did you use for light? Candles or eye lamps?
Eye lamps, yeah. And candles, yeah. Yeah. And we used to have a radio to run on battery. This special battery that you could charge up those wet batteries and dry batteries. Just going back.
You can remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because they were probably hanging around the house for a long time afterwards anyway, until they were thrown out.
And where did you go to school?
Cloning.
In where my wife?
Yeah. In that building, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's mad. So you went to school in the house that my wife grew up in?
Yeah.
What was that like? One room?
Was
2 rooms?
It was 1 room. It was a kind of infants first and second were facing one wall and 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th were facing the other.
Did you walk to school?
Walk to school every day, yeah.
Is it true you had to bring turf?
Yeah, anyone who was cutting turf, any parents who were cutting turf were kind of asked to bring in an ass load or a horse load, whatever. They were drawing home turf at the time.
I had this vision of everyone going to school in the morning with the bag in one hand and a few sods of turf in the other.
No, and not all parents brought in turf, probably brought something else or probably donated something else. But
Can you remember going to school?
Oh, yeah.
What was it like?
Look at it. It was okay. It was tough. And
were the teachers strict?
I never liked going to school.
Were the teachers strict?
After the first day, I didn't
really?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, at the time they were, but looking back now, I suppose, they were fairly. They had to be strict,
Why were you wild?
Sure.
Wild animals.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot up out in the country, You went to town very seldom,
So how long did you stay in school?
Well, I stayed there until I was nearly 13 and a half, yeah.
And what did you do then?
What did I do then? Yeah. Well, it was either get a job or cycle 3 miles to get a bus to go to Portlaoise to the technical school at the time. So a job came up and I took it, yeah.
What was the job?
Yeah, I got a job in Gallagher's.
What was that?
Grocery and hardware.
At 13?
Right in the centre of the town, yeah. Got a job, a little job when I was... No, I left... I wasn't altogether 14 when I left school, but by the time I got the job at the end of August, I was 14. So...
and was that norm back then?
Yeah.
People around 14 getting...
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
And did you have to ask for that job or...
No, I was looking for a job, but a man called JJ camping out the Russian Road. Actually, he called down to my parents to see was there anyone in the family that were able to work, that he knew where there was a job. So,
and that's how that happened?
And that's how that happened, yeah.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for 2.5 years, delivering groceries on the bicycle.
To where?
We had a big basket.
Just around town?
But around the town, and yeah. And helping Jim Hyland on the lorry then, doing the deliveries out the country. Yeah.
Delivering groceries as well?
Oh, yeah, the groceries and...
Like Tesco click and collect?
Yeah, very same.
So how did they order their stuff?
We were doing that before Dunn Stores or Tesco.
So what, did someone come into town or did they get the same thing every week? How did that work?
Some of them got the same thing every week. You'd know where there was 4 loaves and £2 of sugar and £2 of butter going every week, you know. But then, I don't know, they were probably in town earlier in the week and they left in the order for it to be delivered at the weekend.
And where'd you go after that job?
After that job, I went to work for Central Fruit Distributors. They lived out Portlaoise Road, had a place. Do you know how Bert Braden
yeah, it's
is
like
living?
an old big shed on the side of the road.
Yeah, that was Central Fruit Distributors, run by Noel Haig and his father. And
are all these people gone now?
Noel's still alive. He lives in Dublin. I think he's nearly 90 or over it. But they used to draw fruit down from Dublin, and there was 4 or 5 lorries then used to work out of the depot. Delivering to different shops around? Delivering in Laois, Tipperary, Kilkenny, Waterford, Wexford, all the...
And did you have to work hard? Like, were the long hours and, like, what was it, like, did people pay well? What was that like? Yeah,
well, this thing is starting at a certain time and leaving off at a certain time. Back then, no, if you worked when you were needed to work. And some mornings we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe...
was it more like a dictatorship? You were told to come in and you had to be there and that was it?
Yeah, but no, they were good. No, they were nice people to work for, you know. But you could have to travel down to Wexford or Clonmel to load...
that must have been a fair old spin back then.
A load, yeah. Yeah. And
the cars mightn't have been grey.
In a big old Austin lorry. No. Oh. Yeah. And, load that with 4 stone bags of potatoes by hand and take that to the market in Dublin, unloaded by hand, and then load the lorry with fruit and veg then by hand.
Did you like it?
Yes, it was great. You got around to see the country and it was, yeah.
So where'd you go after that?
You always got a couple of hours to sleep when you were in the lorry anyway, going to Dublin, because that time was good.
You'd have to sleep on a Harrow to be able to sleep in them yokes.
Yeah, but it took a few hours to get to Dublin, so, you know.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So where'd you go then?
Where did I go? Yeah. I left that and I went to work in the woods, cutting timber.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you are.
Who were you cutting timber with?
Who was I cutting? Pat Mortimer and myself where it started off. I think a few other people joined in. But yeah, we used to cut down. We used to go in above in the Boree. We used to cut down in Johnstown in Kilkenny. Yeah, horse drawn out with.
So like hardcore stuff.
So was, yeah.
Did you like that?
There was no big machine.
No, there's no big machine.
No handy way like the way you have it.
No. Our job isn't hard now. It's just the long hours. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not physically hard.
Yeah.
Did you stay that long?
Sure, I was at that for 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Had you met the love of your life at this time?
Oh, yeah.
You were with Maura at this time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I met Maura when I was 16.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Maura's a lovely woman.
Yeah.
And say, I suppose the crux of it is, how did you end up selling food?
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, you have to go back a little bit as well.
Go on, go back.
When I was in Gallagher's delivering on the bicycle, Danny Lawler had a chip shop in town. And I used to go up there in the evening times. And then...
Big chip shop. What was a chip shop back then?
No, it was a small little place.
Was it just chips?
Chips and sausages. Yeah.
What year was this?
You get fish on a Friday. So you would.
But that was the menu. Fish and chips or fish and sausages?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd only get fish and chips on a Friday. Maybe some on a Saturday. It might be left over.
Would this be in the 70s?
This would be... No.
60s?
This was in the 60s. This would have been 67, 68.
Was it the swinging 60s? Like, was it happening?
Oh, God, it was a great time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the 60s were a great time.
Did you go out dancing and everything every weekend? Or, like, what was it like Austin Powers? Like, what was it like?
Back then, we had a dance hall in Boris Nursery, and a dance hall in Portlaoise, and a dance hall in Athy. So...
you had plenty of options.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you went up to get this chip or get your chips in the evening.
Yeah.
And it was a small little place.
And I used to help out. I used to peel the potatoes for him.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, he used to help out there, peel the potatoes and do a few odd little jobs for him. And it was kind of a second home for him, I thought it was.
And did you think back then, I like this?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know whether I did or not, but...
you did it anyway.
Yeah. But in the middle of working for everyone else, when I was about 16 and a half, myself and a brother-in-law of mine, Eddie Phelan, Lord mercy on him, he's dead now, the two of us built a chip van.
Built a chip van?
Yeah.
How do you build a chip van?
Yeah.
How do you build a chip van?
Yeah, that time now it was like a big square timber box.
On the back of an old van?
And on an axle, we towed it around with the car.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what, did you just buy a fryer?
And all we had was a fryer and a table beside it. We had tray on it to put the chips in, yeah. Yep. That's what we started with.
And can you remember the first place you brought it?
Yeah. Abbey Leaks. To the Mockra Hall in Abbey Leaks. And Big Tom and the mainliners were playing in the Mockra Hall. And a bag of chips were 10 pence at the time.
10 pence?
Kind of like 10 cents now, yeah. And we made £50 the first night.
Was that a lot of money now?
Yeah, that was. God, yeah, we were on a winner, all right. We thought that was wicked amount. Like, you know, a week's wages.
Oh, really? That was...
No, a week's wages at that time would have been €6 or €7.
Stop.
Or £6 or £7. Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot then.
That was a lot, yeah.
And then light bulb.
So we used to go out. We used to go out the weekends, and instead of going dancing, then we'd go selling chips outside the dance halls. Yeah.
And what was the menu?
Mostly chips.
Salt, vinegar.
Yeah.
Condiments.
Do you know what? That was it for the time being. So it was until we decided we'd start doing burgers. So we bought a grill then.
For the back of this old van?
For the back of the van, yeah. So then we had chips. The menu grew a little. We had chips and bun burgers and batter burgers and sausages. So yeah. So that kept us going for a few years, so it did, yeah.
And would you travel around?
Yeah.
Different places just around Laois?
Oh, yeah. That time there'd be carnivals everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
There'd be carnivals in Cameras and in Mountrat. And
when show bands were playing, you'd go where they were?
Yeah.
And how many nights a week would you be out?
Oh, sure, you'd be out 3 nights a week, maybe 4 nights a week at things like that, you know, at carnivals. Because you'd have a dance on a Wednesday night and a Friday night and a Sunday night, you know.
And who was helping you?
Maura and Shamey Phelan at the time, and his wife, because his wife, Shamey and myself, were married to 2 sisters. So there was Breda and Maura and Shamey and myself.
And how long did you stay doing that?
Well, we were on the road then. We did upgrade. We did upgrade from the timber box to a good van. We bought a Comer van and we
kitted it out,
converted that. Yeah,
and
that
it must have been a big jump to. I'm going to buy a property and sell chips from one area. Was that like you were there? You were going to where things were busy, and then you decided I think there's business here in Mountrat.
Yeah. Well, when we were working at dances, and when the carnivals are over, our main depot was to pull up in the square in Mountrat, and we'd be there 6 nights a week.
So you had an idea.
We would. So yeah.
So you were working all the time.
Yeah, I was working, and the building where the chipper is now. When that came up for sale, we were looking across the street at, thinking to ourselves, well, that'd be lovely, we'd love to have that. But we said to ourselves, no, so where would we be going?
Because it was a big building.
It was a big building, yeah. So it went up for sale. I didn't go to the auction, but it wasn't sold at the auction. So then we thought, well, sure, look, we'll try and see. So the way things worked out anyway, one of the bank managers was good to us. So we ended up buying it.
Do you mind me asking how much it was at the time?
Oh yeah. A wicked price of 26,500.
But back then that was a
lot of money. Oh yeah.
But that's a big building.
Yeah. It's a 3-story building. Yeah. Yeah.
And was it...
and it was right in the centre of the town.
Was it... You know? Were you able to move into that straight away, or was it livable, or was it kind of run down a little?
It was... No, we were able to move in fairly quick, yeah.
What was it before you had it?
Well, I always knew it as a drapery shop. Now, when I bought it, people that were in it were only living there and working away from there, but... it used to be a drapery shop for years. People would have known it as Sheeran's.
Often heard Ma'am talk about that.
Mrs. Sheeran.
Mrs. Sheeran, yeah.
Yeah. I think she had a nickname. I think she used to call her Wiggy Sheeran. So, yeah. So, but...
so what was the first thing you do? Can you remember the first day you went into it?
Yeah.
That must have been a bit... You must have been fair proud of yourself.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to go in there and stand in the middle of the floor and kind of...
What year was this?
1978. 4th of August, 1978.
Yeah, fair play to you for remember that date.
Yeah. And...
did you have to spend a heap of money on it then?
No, we didn't. No, we just got one room ready. And where the takeaway is now, we just got that room ready. And we done a lot of work ourselves, and a few friends helped out and got ready and got it open.
Can you remember the night you opened?
I do. Yeah.
So
Remember?
busy?
Well, yeah, great night.
What was the menu?
So just the usual. It was...
Had curry chips arrived then?
no, I don't think so. No.
So chips, sausages, burgers.
Chips, sausages, burgers, fish. Oh yeah, we had upgraded to fish, like, you know, and chicken. Yeah.
So what was your typical work day back then? Were you kind of a lone ranger? It was just you and Mara, and like, were you working every day?
Yeah, Mara and myself, yeah. We spent, I'd say the first year, when the only days we took off was Christmas Day and Good Friday. Because,
Yeah, nothing opens.
nothing open those days.
Had you kids?
Did we have, I think we did, yeah. Edwina was born. Yeah, so...
Can you remember that, when Edwina was born?
Oh, yeah.
Was that in the middle of you starting the business and running everything? Were you like...
No, that was before.
Did you ever have a time when you were starting to go, oh, fuck, this is hard, I don't know if I can do this? Or nervous?
No.
Or were you always plowing away?
No. No, I knew... I probably didn't know where I was going if I had to think about it.
You'd have done that.
Yeah.
And you moved into the building as well?
We moved into the building, yeah.
And you lived up above it?
We lived upstairs, yeah. Yeah, we converted one of the rooms upstairs into a kitchen, so upstairs then was living accommodation. And and as corners we went along, we renovated it bit by bit.
Can you remember why you decided to go from takeaway to I'm going to open a restaurant, expand it?
No, well, it was a year after we opened the takeaway, we opened the restaurant. Yeah.
Was there any other restaurant in Mountrat?
No, not at the time. There was a few other places, but they were all gone. They were all closed up and everything else. So there was nowhere in Montreal. No. So, that took us 12 months to get that ready and open.
Same amount of staff, or did you just hire people? Or just do it yourselves?
No, we did hire in a couple of people then to work, yeah. And from there it started to grow. From hiring one person to 25 now.
It's a bit mad.
Yeah.
Did it escalate on you, or did you just grow with how busy it was, or was it I've decided I wanted to be like this, or is it an accidental?
No, well, I kind of kept pushing it to be that bit bigger all the time, you know. Yeah.
Do you love it?
Yes, I must. Yeah, I was sticking it for the last 3-4 years now.
And you do catering as well?
And we do outdoor catering then as well. That kind of fell into place as well, yeah. Yeah. I like the outdoor catering.
Do you prefer that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Because I was on the road, you see, with the ship fan for 10 years. So
it's like going back to your roots.
Yeah. Because you were somewhere different every day, you know. So, it has, get you out of one place all the time, you know, and
you hire a lot of people from around. I think, like, when we were younger, nearly all our cousins worked for you at some stage.
Yeah. Sometimes I suppose you looked in, you'd wonder who owned the place. Was it the Phelans or Goodies?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them. And when you go up there today, there's a lot of them again.
Yeah.
You know, the next crop.
I know.
Is,
What do you find the hardest thing about your business?
Going
through the years, what have you found the toughest?
What's the toughest? Well, I don't know what is the toughest, but what I don't like about it anyway, there's so much paperwork now. You know.
Do you do all that yourself?
No, the girls do it for me.
Your daughters?
I used to do it, yeah. Yeah, Edwina and Grania, they kind of took over from that, for that end of it, like, you know, because that kills me, all the paperwork, yeah. I'd rather
Just work.
roll up the sleeves and get on with it and get the work done, yeah. There's so much red tape with everything now.
You've been in Mountrat so nearly your whole life.
Yep.
What would you think the difference in towns now than years ago? Do you think it's a worse way of living now or a better way of living? Or have you noticed that there's a lot of things closing and people don't know each other as well? Like when you were started off, like how many pubs would there have been in town?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I can remember, I think 16 pubs. People tell you it was over 20 pubs in the town at one stage. But I can remember 16.
Just in Mountrat?
Just in Mountrat, yeah. And back those days, you had to be in town to be in business because that's where the footfall was, I suppose. And, you know, that's where everyone headed for. You know, not like today. You can be anywhere. Today, people can reach you, you know, on the internet and everything, you know.
Are you into the internet?
No, a little bit, not a whole lot. Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time when you have it?
Do a bit of photography.
When did you start at that?
Oh, probably about 2011, 2010. I always liked the camera, and I always had the camera. So around 2010, I done a few courses with Al Farvey up in Meatac, and then in 2012, a group of us that was finishing up doing a course, we decided we'd start a camera club. So I took off from there. So I did.
And do you get out much?
It's still going. I don't get out as much now as I used to. It's not as much as I'd like, and love to be getting out a lot more.
Are you a bit of a workaholic?
Yeah. Probably am. Yeah. I like being there all the time.
Because you had a few issues with your heart.
Yeah, I had, yeah.
And you weren't out of hospital, I'd say. I'd say you weren't back. I'd say 2 days you were back in the restaurant, were you?
Probably, yeah.
Do you miss it when you're away from it?
Yeah. I do like to keep...
Is it a social thing or do you just want to be there?
Probably at this stage now, it's probably a social thing. I like being in around it and talking to the people, like, you know. Probably for what I do now is probably not a lot. Probably is more social now for me than anything else, like, you know, meeting all the different people. You've
seen some amount of people grow up and have kids and have more kids and come in and you're there. I know all them.
Yeah. But the town changed. Back in the beginning, I knew every person in the town and I knew all their children, knew them by name and everything.
How about now?
Now, not at all. You couldn't keep up with him. You know, I hardly know anyone in town now. You know, by the older crowd, you know. Anyway, there's names and you couldn't pronounce them.
I often wondered, was it back then, you know, people, be coming out of the pub, coming to you at night time. Is it rougher now or was it rougher back then? Like, would people be rowing the pub or rowing in the chip, or like, was it rougher now or was it rougher back then? Like, did you have a lot more people to go, get out, you can't go in here, or like running people, or what's that like?
Yeah.
Or are people more civilized now? Or was it more harmless back then?
Yeah, you don't have as many rows now. You very seldom have a row now.
But back then,
Back then, oh yeah, you nearly sure to have a row every weekend.
really?
Yeah.
And did you sort it out?
Yeah. Often had to throw out a few people. But you see, back then, you had all the different clubs. You had Castletown, Trumra, Slieve Loom, Cameras, Ballyfin, and then you had Mountrad, and they were all meeting, and
You were the melting pot at the end of the night.
oh yeah, when they were all well fueled up,
Yeah.
and they all met in my place, and all the wrong ones would meet in my place, and a row could break out, and I could be going to Telford's the next morning to buy a pen at last.
That happened often.
Oh, that often happened, yeah. Yeah, I came to the stage where I used to buy 2 pens at last. So I'd have a spare one. Yep.
That's mad.
Yeah. But then again, there were harmless rows, they were good fist fight,
Yeah, no one was pulling knives or guns around.
No, there was none of that, And more than likely, whoever had been fighting it, we would probably be drinking together the following weekend, Yeah. All right.
And you moved out of the house.
Yeah.
The Chippers.
Yeah.
Why did you move out of that?
I don't know. We looking for something, maybe thinking of getting away a bit from the business because we were there.
You did a great job.
No, sure isn't. No. We moved first up near the technical school, and then they decided to knock down the old technical school and build a new secondary school with 100 students. So we said we better get out of there before they arrive.
Oh, is that why you decided to go there?
Yeah.
Then you built a new house.
So we decided then to get out of there. So we moved back to Clonan, where I was born and reared. So
you love it out there?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a Mount Rat man or a Cameras man?
Oh gosh.
Just be honest. You don't have to die here.
That now is a funny question. Am I a Mount Rat man or a Cameras man? Because I live in Castletown.
Ah, yeah, but I consider you a Cameras man.
No, but
nearly all your daughters are married Cameras men.
Well, sure, the whole family is on, apart from Grania now.
Apart from Grania.
Is the only one that...
we have to get Grania sorted now, a good Cameras person.
Oh, you want to know Grania's Mount Rat, you'll never convert her.
I used to live beside Grania, sure.
Yeah.
Were you ever robbed?
Once, yeah.
In the Chipper?
Yeah.
At night time, or did they come in while you were there?
No, night time. Yeah, we had a couple of intruders one night. Yeah, they broke in the back door and they done more harm than I'd say what they got. They were trying to take the till, but there was no money in it anyway. So we had a cigarette machine.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So they decided to take that.
That's what the whole machine.
They took the whole machine, and that was a big awkward.
Yeah, I remember.
Machine, you'd have to have 2 people.
I often got major out of it for the outlet.
You'd have to take 2 people to carry it anyway. But they did. They carried it down the lane and they carried it out over a wall. And we found it in a field down the lane. Yeah.
Jeez, that was some work. They nearly deserved it at that stage.
Oh yeah. And whether they were disturbed or what, I don't know. But they done a runner anyway, and they did leave some money in it. So
after all that work.
After all that work, yeah.
Can you remember the most money you ever made in a day?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what it was?
No. Did you don't want to know things like that? No. Paddy's Day was always a great day.
Yeah, I can remember everyone trying to get in
Oh, yeah.
straight after the parade.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it should be open from 10 o'clock in the morning and you'd be busy with people wanting breakfast and that, you know. But when the parade is start, then we'd turn the key in the door and we'd all go out
And look.
and probably be taking part in it as well anyway. And and then when the parade would be gone, you'd open and
Mayhem.
hell would be let loose then. Yeah.
Have you ever had to run a customer for being awkward?
Yeah, that happens in that time, yeah.
Just some people just can't be pleased.
Yeah.
And would you say, oh, just feck off?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
How did you find COVID?
Yeah, in the beginning, like, you know, nobody knew what was happening, you know. So that was kind of hard closing the first time.
Were you worried?
Because we didn't, because nobody knew what was happening. You know, like, were we ever going to be opening again, like, you know, or, you know, what the hell was COVID, like, you know, nobody knew. But, that time, half the staff, mostly the staff that were working on the restaurant end of it, because we had to close the restaurant. But they deemed the takeaway was essential, so we could stay open. So we kept half the staff to run the takeaway.
It seemed to be busier, was it?
And
I can often remember queuing outside the door.
Yeah. You could only allow 4 people into the takeaway at a time, and we had to draw lines on the footpath outside where the people could queue up, you know. Yeah, and that was for the first few days that was awkward. People thought they still could all cram into the takeaway, you know, and there was a few people weren't getting it, you know, but and they all calmed down after, and they all were very nice, you know.
Did you ever think of giving up? Of selling it? Retiring? Cruising off into the sunset? You and Mara, foreign country, living the dream?
Yeah. No, I didn't. No.
Never even crossed your mind?
Yeah, probably in that time, I'd say. Yeah. Probably in that time, something would be going wrong, you'd say.
Because you still work all the time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like last Sunday, I was in here and you and Mara were out dishing out food there at the 2E.
Oh, yeah. Mara loves it. She tells you she doesn't love it. Like, you know, she'd be giving out about it.
That's women love giving out.
She loves giving out about it, but sure, she has to be there in the middle of it anyway.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Did Mara always make the tarts for the restaurant?
Oh, yeah. Mara always made the tarts and the lemon meringue and pavlova. Yeah.
She still
does. Yeah. Still gives out about it, having to make it, but when I tell her, oh, well, sure, I'll get somebody else to make them, and she'd say you won't.
So what's a typical day for you now, Eddie?
For me? Well, it all depends on what kind of a day it is. You see, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and if there's no outdoor catering, I could go in at 9 o'clock in the morning and I could disappear at 2 o'clock. Or I could be there till 6 o'clock. I don't work long hours anymore. Unless I have outdoor catering at the weekends and that, like, you know, coming up to Christmas now, we'll be busy, all right, you know.
Christmas parties?
Yeah, you might... a typical day when you're busy, if you're doing a funeral or some kind of a function, that could be, you could be starting at 8 o'clock and you could be still going at 12 o'clock that night.
Was it a hard business and have a family when you're working long hours and not going to bed till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning?
It was in a way, I suppose, that you weren't free to go everywhere. you mightn't attended as many hurling matches as you should. And but Maura was great. Maura always looked after the girls. She would take them dancing and wherever. She'd always be there to support them that way when I was at home.
Working.
Slogging away, yeah. But then, on the other hand, the children were always around us.
They were always there anyway.
They were always there, yeah. And they were always in the background, helping out somewhere or another, Yeah. So that's why it's no bother for them to stand in and do whatever has to be done now, because they're all so used to it,
They can all just fall into a role there.
Yeah.
All hands on deck when it gets busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Are you ready for the questions, the hard ones?
Oh, there's questions for this as well.
There's questions. Now, it's not a test, right? It's not a test.
Yeah.
They're just questions.
Yeah.
You ready?
Go on.
What's your first vivid childhood memory?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Playing around the yard. We have hurling ball. Not that I was ever any good at hurling, but
Would you like it anyway?
yeah.
You weren't hurling from Castletown anyway. You were hurling from Cameras.
Yeah.
What's the most painful thing that you've ever been told?
Probably something like when the doctors tell you that your mother and father is on their way out, and there's not much time left,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God I had him for a long time. So I was lucky. I was one of the lucky ones that I had him for so long.
Are they proud of you?
I hope they were. Yeah.
You built a fair old empire, like.
That's true. We just started working. It all happened.
If you walked into a room with everyone you'd ever met in your whole life, dead or alive, who would you go over to first?
Maura?
That's a great fucking answer. If you could make one phone call to heaven, who would you call?
Oh, at this stage, my mother and father.
What would you say to him?
I don't know. Yeah.
Tough question, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to think about that. Just
Is home for you a place or a feeling? 'Cause you've lived in a couple of houses.
Yeah.
So you should be able to answer that one better than anyone.
Do you think so? Yeah. I don't know.
Do you feel more at home where you are now?
Yeah, probably do. Yeah. Because I was born there, just 200 yards away. So
Yeah.
I know all the fields and all the gaps in the ditches and everything up there. So I do.
Would you like yourself if you met yourself?
God, I'd probably have a chat with myself about a few things. All right, but yeah.
What's your biggest regret?
I didn't open a hotel in Montserrat.
Would you like to have opened a hotel?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you try?
Yeah, yeah.
And how come you didn't?
The property that I was looking for wasn't available.
That is a problem.
That is a problem, yeah, yeah. You know, you just can't put a hotel anywhere you want to. You have to put it where you think is the best place anyway. But,
well, it was the only step you didn't take after, wasn't it? You had everything else sort of wrapped up.
Yeah. I think Mountrat now needs a hotel.
So it's still on the cards.
Oh, look, everything, yeah.
You don't stop anyway, do you?
No, there's no point giving up now.
Who brings you the most happiness in your life?
Oh, the family, of course, yeah. Yeah.
You have a good few grandchildren now.
Yes, thank God, yeah. I have 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys, and then I have 9 grandchildren, and they're all within 5 minutes of me. So I am lucky.
Yeah.
We are lucky. More and myself, yeah.
This is a really hard question.
All right.
You ready?
Go on.
Of your brother, or of your son-in-laws, who do you prefer, Alan or Mick?
Oh God! Do you know what? Even if I did know that one, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm only joking. You don't have to answer that one. Do you believe in God?
I do. Yeah.
Would you be very religious?
I suppose in my own little way.
You go to mass?
I wouldn't be going every Sunday. No. I go when I can, but a lot of times we're busy at mass time. You know,
Yeah,
that's not an excuse now, is it? But generally on a Sunday morning, I know we don't open till 3:00 on a Sunday. And probably a lot of people think I'm lying in the bed and or I'm off playing golf or something. But we're not. We're generally very busy.
Do you golf?
On a Sunday. No, I used to play golf, but I hurt my shoulder back a few years ago. So my shoulder doesn't really go where it's supposed to go anymore. You know? So I gave up playing golf.
Would you be afraid of death? Does death scare you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to stay here for as long as I could, yeah. Yeah.
You seem fit as a fiddle. You exercise.
Thank God.
Because you're not eating your own chips anyway. You're not morbidly obese or anything.
Oh, I do. Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, eat my own chips. Of course I do. I wouldn't expect you to eat them if I wouldn't eat them.
Well, you're definitely eating them in moderation then.
Yeah. That was something that, after having the heart surgery that I was told to do, that I was to do a lot of exercise. And that's one promise I didn't keep up too well, you know.
Are you proud of yourself?
But then again, I do a lot of walking every day.
You're on your feet all the time.
On my feet.
Are you proud of yourself, Eddie? Do you ever look back and go, I'm proud of what I built?
Yeah. I suppose when you look at it like that, I would be, yeah.
If you were to give young people any advice out there, what would it be?
If they have an idea in their head and there's something that they want to do, just put their head down and go for it.
But it won't happen on its own.
It's not going to happen on its own. There's nobody going to hand it to you. And if there's somebody hands it to you, you'll probably throw it back in their face after.
And they can also take it away.
Yeah. So, whatever your dream is, just go after it.
Have you any dreams?
At this stage, a few small ones.
Can you tell us one?
Yeah. I'd like to do less work and
Make more money.
yeah, well, if that's possible, like, you know, but to take a little time off and for Maura and myself to spend a little more time away on holidays and a few places I want to see, you know, nothing.
What was your favourite holiday you went on?
I was in Australia. I have a niece living in Australia, so we went out there to see her. Yeah, that was nice. Canada. I had an uncle my father's brother lived in Canada for years. He's dead and gone now. But I was out there several times to see him. Canada's a lovely place. If I ever come back and I'm a young fella, I'll go to Canada to live. Yeah, I think it's lovely.
What would Eddie now go back and tell 20-year-old Eddie?
Yeah. Probably you're not working hard enough.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. Yes, you need to probably you need to modernise more.
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
Eddie, thanks a million.
No problem.
Was it as hard as you thought it'd be?
Oh, wicked. Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't hard at all. Do you listen to the news or do you watch the news?
Yeah.
Do you stay up to date and all that?
I have to, yeah. I have this thing of if I'm going home in the evening, I like to be home to see the 9 o'clock news.
When you watch the 9 o'clock news now, what feelings do you get from it?
I'm sure there's nothing good on it these days anyway, you know. Looking at the wars in Israel and places like that, you know, so there's nothing good. You know, if it's something here in Ireland, it's the riots in Dublin or somebody murder somebody, you know. And,
it's mad that the news is more negative than it ever has been, but we live in a better time than we ever have.
Oh, yeah.
Negativity sells, doesn't it?
Yep, obviously it does. Yeah.
Eddie, thanks a million for coming on.
No problem.
And if you're rocking through Mount Dra, you can't miss it. Eddie Phelan's.
Oh, yeah. Call in.
And Eddie will give you all free food. I'm only joking.
Thanks. Scrap that here.
And we're going to go now and he's going to tell me who he'd rather, Mick or Alan. But thanks a million, Eddie. And I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.